Hi, everyone. I am Linda Wellbrock, the founder of Leading Women and the Force for Change Awards. And we have an honoree today from Natera. Her name is Trudy McKanna, and she is the Director of Medical Education, like I said, at Natera. Welcome, Trudy, and congratulations on being a Force for Change honoree.
Well, thank you, Linda. It's a pleasure to be here today.
Okay, let's start with telling everyone what Natera is and what your mission and services are.
Great. So Natera's basic mission is to improve the healthcare of patients worldwide. And it started as a women's health company. I actually started at Natera about 8 years ago in its women's health division as a medical science liaison, which was the bridge really between educating the providers about testing, genetic testing, and bringing feedback from providers back to Natera to say, how can we make our testing better? How can we actually meet the needs of these providers with these genetic tests? We're a leader in cell-free DNA technology, which we started again with in the women's health division. But about 3 years ago, we actually used our expertise in that technology to open two new business units besides our women's health unit, the oncology division and the transplant division or organ health division. And the organ health division, I actually moved over to join that team because it was so exciting and novel about 2.5 years ago to launch our cell-free DNA product in that division, and then more recently, the Renocyte test that I think we're talking a little bit more about today was launched about a year ago in that division, and really we're focused on applying cell-free DNA and genetic technology to improve specifically the health of patients who have had right now a kidney transplant or have chronic kidney disease, but we also do want to expand that expertise to other solid organs.
Well, that's incredible to hear you talk about it, and I have firsthand experience. My sister-in-law just had a kidney transplant about a month and a half ago. And so I definitely want to share this interview with her. But tell us a little bit about chronic kidney disease and really its impact on healthcare right now in the United States.
Yeah, I was really surprised to learn how common chronic kidney disease is globally. About 10% of the world is thought to have some degree of chronic kidney disease. And a lot of these people may have mild kidney disease and not be aware of it. But about 15% of the American population has some form of chronic kidney disease, which is about 37 million people. And the concern about kidney disease is you don't want that to progress to end-stage renal disease. It's a problem enough when you have chronic kidney disease, but really when you get to end-stage renal disease, that means your kidneys aren't functioning on their own. And the only solution is dialysis and or transplant. And about 500,000 Americans are on dialysis with recent data that we're looking at. And about 20 to 25,000 people, like your sister-in-law, have had a kidney transplant every year. So it really is something that is a growing public health concern. We spend a lot of money supporting dialysis, supporting research into chronic kidney disease. And one of the stats that was most surprising to me was up to 50% of people don't actually know why they have chronic kidney disease, which seems, just to add to the burden of dealing with a chronic medical problem is you don't oftentimes even know why you have that medical problem. Are my family members at risk? Is there anything else I can do about this? Can I slow disease progression? And that got us really interested at Natera about some of the things that we could do to maybe help patients and providers with that question.
So how does Natera's Renocyte genetic test and some of the other services that Natera offers impact basically these healthcare issues that you just described?
Yeah, so what we developed and launched last year was a comprehensive genetic panel. So it has 385 different genes that can cause chronic kidney disease on there. And since there's a lot of overlap with the causes of kidney disease, we made one genetic panel to really look at could there be a chronic a genetic cause for your kidney disease, because the data can show that anywhere between upwards of 10% of patients with kidney disease could have a genetic etiology. And in some studies, it was as high as 17% of people who had an unknown cause actually got a genetic diagnosis. And that can make a huge impact on a family. You get a diagnosis. Does that change your management? Can you look at who else in the family might be affected or at risk? And are there things they can do to make themselves healthy preventatively before they develop kidney disease? Do they have does that condition have other problems outside of the kidney that they need to maybe get a referral to look at? And then I think what is also really exciting is, can they go into clinical trials? And maybe can we learn more about these conditions? Can we develop new medications? When I say we, I mean, pharmaceutical companies and others develop new new treatments to really improve care for these patients. And we developed this based on feedback from providers who said, we really see the utility in doing genetic testing, but we're concerned because historically genetic testing has been very expensive, and it's really hard to keep up with the genetic technology. And it seems like Natera has, this is the feedback we're getting, it seems like Natera has a lot of those resources in place from our other products and from our history of women's health. Could we maybe apply that to this problem? And we actually looked at it and said, yeah, we have, the technology to do genetic testing has really become much more streamlined in the past even decade. So it can be much more affordable. You can, if you put together, like Natera has, kind of responsible and affordable billing policies that are very, easy to navigate. That's one problem that we hope to address. And then the second was, it is hard to keep up with genetic technology. Even if you're in the genetics field, I was trained as a genetic counselor, as a clinical genetic counselor for 15 years before joining Natera. And even though it was my job, it was hard to kind of keep up. And that's one of the reasons why I actually came to Natera, is to say, it's hard for somebody who deals with genetics every day to keep up. Let's help get non-genetics medical professionals feel comfortable doing genetic testing. And so as my role as the director of medical education is really a lot of doing that, is to say, to the providers, here's the situation with genetics, genetic testing, how to read a report, help them feel comfortable. And we also have information sessions from our certified genetic counselors who are specialized in chronic kidney disease genetics that are available to providers who want to order the test before they order it, or when they get a result back and they want to talk to somebody before they talk to a patient, but also available to patients. So if patients want to call and say, should I have this test? Is this appropriate? After they get a result back, if they have other questions, who in my family should I talk to about this? How do I get that testing done? They have those resources to really kind of close the gap that we see in getting more testing done.
Right. So let's move to what you see in the future, and how do you hope that Renasight impacts the future of patient care?
I think what's exciting about genetic testing, and especially in the kidney disease space, is we're really at the beginning of understanding a lot about how genetics can impact a kidney disease. One of the things that we're looking at now is, one gene, one disease. It's pretty straightforward, but one of the future things that kind of getting the word out and getting more testing done can help us do is kind of those multifactorial conditions, or those lots of different factors, lots of different genetic predispositions and environmental factors like diabetes and hypertension. Can we learn more so that we can actually figure out who might have higher risks for developing certain conditions based on their genetic background? Really pulling into that personalized medicine that you hear a lot about, but putting that personalized medicine into action.
Well, Trudy, you have certainly made an impact on patient care with all of your work at Natera, and we can't wait to celebrate you and your company on November 8th as a force for change. It's been really interesting hearing you speak and learning a little bit more about how genetic care can really save lives, and you're doing just that. So thank you for all of your hard work and dedication.
Great. Thank you so much, Linda. It was a pleasure.
Great.